Just Sport podcast paper review. I'm Joanne Reardon.
I'm Niamh. It is the week we've all been waiting for, so things are about to get really busy in terms of sports news as the Olympics is due to kick off later this week. There was some action-packed sporting action, I suppose. That sentence doesn't even make sense, but you get what I'm saying. It was action-packed last week. So yeah, we're really excited, to bring you all this news, and obviously as we gear up for Tokyo with just 2 days to go. In athletics, it was a historic weekend for Irish athletics over the weekend. As in Tallinn at the European Under-20 Championships, Ireland enjoyed huge success. Rhasidat Adeleke reminded everyone why she is one of the best young sprinters in Ireland, and indeed in Europe, as she won both the 100 and 200 metres. She came into the championships as number one ranked sprinter and didn't seem phased by all of the favourites tagged. She recently moved to Texas starting last year and became the first sprinter in 10 years to win the sprint double at the Under-20 Championships. In the first of her finals, she ran 11:34 in the 100 metres to comfortably stride to victory by almost a length, and in the 200 metres the very next day, she dominated the field, securing victory by 0.65 ahead of her nearest rival. She ran 22.9, which was a new Irish senior record and a new under-20 world lead. The racing didn't stop there. She was also up in the 4x400 metres relay. The team of Lauren McCourt, Caoimhe Cronin, Maeve O'Neill and Rhasidat Adeleke set a new under-20 record and finished in 5th place. Adeleke anchored the final leg and made up a startling amount of ground, but in the end, 7 races in 4 days caught up with her. It was absolutely something to behold. Like they were kind of in the second group in the relay, and once she got the baton, she tore off, and she was up in 3rd place, maybe even 2nd place, and then she just really started to tie up kind of in the last 100 metres. But definitely if she had maybe had fresher legs, she would have been on the podium. But look, brilliant racing from Adeleke. Elsewhere in athletics, Sharlene Mawdsley took first place in Belgium with a new 400 metre personal best of 51.7, so she was thrilled with that. So I think a little bit later we will talk about there's a few questions going around in terms of Sharlene Mawdsley and Adeleke not getting selected for the games, so we can talk about that a bit later. But for you, Joanne, what are you most looking forward to seeing at this year's Olympics?
Yeah, I suppose to carry on from your Rhasidat Adeleke obviously story, I literally was on Twitter over the weekend after she stormed to victory numerous times, and I saw Sonia O'Sullivan basically tag Irish athletics and be like, this is a decision you're going to regret for a long time, because I suppose someone like Sonia was also wouldn't have been selected when she was younger, but was on kind of a reserve kind of panel and didn't get to kind of go. So I suppose she would kind of know what it's like to get that experience and then use that experience in future races. But to answer your question as to what I'm further looking forward to, I actually put out that tweet last week, and the responses I got were so funny. So obviously one of my big things is I'm looking forward to obviously swimming. Not just saying that because I obviously did the Swim Ireland, but I do used to love watching the swimming when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it. Another thing that I'm obsessed with, I was saying it to Gina, my PA, I'm obsessed with jumping sports, so high jump, long jump, triple jump, hurdles. I'm obsessed with stuff like that. Javelin throw, that's my bizarre question mark kind of sport. Obviously looking forward to the Irish athletes, the hockey girls, obviously rowing with Sunita Pastore, Aoife Casey and Margaret Cremen. Obviously looking forward to Phil Healy, obviously Cork represent. Looking forward to seeing what Meg Ryan
You're just picking everyone out of Cork, John.
Yeah, I'm not finished with my Cork athletes because we basically have submitted probably the highest for county. We probably haven't, I'm just making that up. Obviously Michelle Finn, Duhallow girl, she lives 15 minutes down the road from me. Looking forward to seeing her compete in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. But yeah, my go-to sports would always be swimming and triple jump, high jump for some unknown reason. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. What are yours?
Yeah, definitely looking forward to swimming as well. Rowing, athletics. Yeah, really looking forward to the athletics. I think it's going to be great. Lots of action. Yeah, we know in rowing there'd be some gold medal hopefuls there, and yeah, looking forward to boxing as well. So honestly, everything.
Yeah, this is the beauty.
It's gonna be a pretty jam-packed few weeks. But sure, look, we will catch up more about the Olympics at the end. I think in to remind people, we're going to do some quickfire questions, some Niamh and Joanne quickfire questions. And Joanne, what did you think of the HerSport by Queen being used?
Niamh, when do I get a bra? Like, that's all I want
soon,
to know.
like.
I was literally going to text you and I was like, I don't care what the people say, I want a bra. Like, like I was like obsessed. Like, one, obviously everyone knows from my Instagram, I'm a huge Queen Bee fan. Actually, this is their tank top that I'm currently wearing at the moment. Because they sent me a black one and I remember thinking, God, this is very like svelte on my body. It's nap proof, I can confirm this top. But I think for sure we need a HerSport by Queen Bee bra. And because you already have the pictures and you show them to the world, I was like, I need this bra ASAP. So Niamh, like, post me on my bra. You have my address. I'll pay
It
you.
is happening. It is
I'll
happening.
pay you anything.
It's yeah, it'll be coming soon. We have just, if anybody's interested in getting one, just head over to our channels and register your interest, and you'll get an email as soon as they're live on the website. But we're really excited. We've have had loads of great feedback, and we've had more than 70 people register their interest for HerSport by Queen Bee Sports Press already. So really exciting stuff. All right, we get back to the soccer. What's going on in the Women's National League, Joanne?
I know we're moving off the tapas of sport, which is the Olympics, into soccer. Things are obviously heating up in the Women's National League. League leaders Peamount United and Shelbourne continue to battle it out at the top of the table. The Peas ran out comfortable winners against Treaty United with a 5-1 win. Shelbourne had their work cut out for them for their 3 points against DLR Waves. An 87th minute winner from Rebecca Cook sealed a 2-1 win for Shells to see them go on level points with Peamount United at the top of the table. And Wexford Youths found themselves a point behind both sides after a hard-fought win against Galway, while the league's bottom 2 sides, Cork City and Athlone Town, share the points with a thrilling 2-all draw. So it's incredibly exciting over in LGFA, or in soccer even, in WNL. As everyone knows, I have a bit of like an affinity towards DLR Waves because I interviewed their goalkeeper Eve Badana for the Women's National League book from the FAI. So I kind of follow her greatly, and I was really sad on her behalf win that 87 winner, but there was nothing really that could be done. Rebecca Cook, it was just a fantastic shot, to say the least. So yeah, no, it's all very exciting. So yeah,
it looks like it's very tight at the top anyways, and you know,
yeah. And I think just seeing like the amount of talent, and I think this league obviously will feed in, like the strength and talent and depth in this league will feed into the national team, and then we'll
absolutely
others to come. So it's great to see some good eyes and ears obviously on the league, and it's great to see the talent being showcased, especially where you don't have to go into dodgy Russian streams to try and find it. You can just pick up LOI TV and it's all there.
Okay, over in LGFA, the reigning champions Dublin, who are looking to win their 5th title in a row, booked their place in this year's All-Ireland quarter-final with a big 6-12 to 110 victory over Waterford. A pretty convincing win. The 11-time winners Cork, who were beaten by Dublin in the final last year, also booked their place in the quarter-final as they thumped Tipperary 6-14. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No, that's what you mean.
I just laughed because it was thumped.
Keep this in you.
I feel like people are going to enjoy that. I'm actually not laughing at the scoreline. I'm just laughing at the word thumped. But anyway, so they also had a convincing win over Tipperary with 6-14 to 110. Mayo and Monaghan went toe-to-toe, and it was Shauna Howley who scored the winner for Mayo as they required a free kick shootout to beat Monaghan after extra time. The scores were level at 12 points to 12 points after extra time. So an exciting game, and I'm sure it was very tense for everybody involved. Galway made a sensational comeback or against Donegal to progress. Galway fought back from 1-6 to 4 points at halftime to win 3-10 to 1-11. Firstly, as we're reminded weekly on the podcast, Amy Mackin is a really good footballer. Her left foot scored 10 points, 7 from open play, as Armagh beat Cavan 3-18 to 3-10. Goals from Ellie Mallon, Caroline O'Hanlon and Aoife McCoy were decisive for Armagh. So that's the latest in LGFA. And Joanne, if you bring us some Camogie news.
Yeah, just going back to Amy Mackin, I tried to tweet it again last week that Amy Mackin is really good at football, and Twitter were like, you tweeted this before, and they wouldn't let me tweet it, and I was like, that clearly shows something. Over in Camogie news, it was the kickoff of the All-Ireland Camogie Championship. as Cork and Tipperary got their first victories in Group 1. AFL star Orla O'Dwyer is back with a bang for Tipperary. She scored 3-3 out of their 3-23 victory over Offaly. And if you are interested to hear anything further from Orla O'Dwyer, we have an interview with her on the League of Her Own podcast where we dip in and out of everything. And that was the day I was getting my haircut. So poor Orla, I was like, yeah, Orla, I got to go by. But it's a really interesting interview. So definitely check that out, especially if you are interested in Camogie, AFL and football or anything else. Cork were also on top as they beat Dublin, but Group 3 saw current All-Ireland and League champions Kilkenny win by 22 points to Clare's 16 points. Galway cantered to a very smooth 3-16 to 1-5 victory over Westmeath. So it's incredibly tight, obviously, at the top between the top teams, with the likes of Cork, Kilkenny and Galway. Obviously, Tipperary are on the up as well, as are obviously Dublin. So it should be incredible to see what can come. But I kind of feel that those who are kind of at the bottom of Camogie are, like, they're there. And that's kind of it, and I do feel a little bit bad for them. But I think it just goes back to if all of these teams were, backed and kind of funded by their respective boards. It shows, what you see in Tipperary and what you see in Dublin. It shows what can be achieved if you actually put whatever behind your team. Obviously, in other interesting Camogie news is that this is the first time it's not sponsored by Liberty. They don't have a title sponsor for their All-Ireland series. But Hilda Breslin came out and actually said that the money that they had pooled together from past sponsorships will be enough to get them over the line this year, but they will probably be a sponsor next year. So fingers crossed they do get to bear it. It is one of our national games. It is a UNESCO heritage sport, I'm loyally informed. So hopefully they will be able to get back on the horse and go from there. But should be exciting to see who will battle it out for All-Ireland success this year.
Absolutely. Look, the league was very exciting. And there's some really, talented teams in there. So it's something else to watch and look forward to. We'll be busy with the Olympic Games, but LGFA and Camogie have lots and lots of action, which we'll be looking forward to over the summer, because obviously that goes on for several weeks. In some other very cool news, Kelly Harrington will be one of the Irish flag bearers at the opening ceremony at the Olympic Games. Harrington is making her Olympic debut and is tipped as one of Ireland's top medal prospects. She is the top seed in the women's lightweight division in boxing. She said, "It's an amazing honour. There are so many athletes out there, and to be chosen as one of the flag bearers is absolutely fantastic." In some other potential news, the Associated Press have predicted that Ireland will win 6 medals at the Games. These include 2 silver medals in boxing. They are tipping Harrington and Michaela Walsh, and 1 gold medal in rowing, and they're tipping Sunita Pushpore. So yeah, look, it's all heating up. We are really excited. I guess we can nip back to the athletics quickly. We just didn't want to get into that too much at the start for people that don't want to kind of listen to the full debate. But there's a bit of conversation in terms of Rhasidat being left off that 4x400 team, as well as Sharlene Mawdsley. So do you know much about it, or do you want me to give you the overview?
I know bits and pieces about it. I was kind of interested. I was going to probably ask Sonia O'Sullivan at some stage. I'd be like, oh, hey, but I didn't want to bother her. She seems a bit busy with Team USA.
Fair enough.
So I was like, I won't bother her. She's in Oregon. But if you want to give us the run through, and then we can make our respective comments afterwards.
Yeah, no, look, to be honest, like I do see both sides. For me, with Rhasidat, she's an absolutely brilliant sprinter. There's no doubt about it. And what I would say is she had run the 400 a little bit over in the States. But when she came to race at nationals, here, she raced the 100 and the 200. And if she was really serious about contention for the relay, she would have raced the 400 as well. I think she absolutely has it in her, and we will see her at the Olympic Games in the future. But I can understand why she wasn't just selected over other athletes, because they're obviously racing the 400 meters. They have kind of proved their potential there, and she hasn't maybe done it quite as much. I think obviously she was like really, really close with that 200 meters time. Like it was slightly wind assisted, so she did get unlucky there. But look, I think Rhasidat there's loads and loads of potential there. Obviously Sonia feels very strongly about it and feels like she should have been brought as part of the team. But I can't see the other side on why she wasn't. In terms of Sharlene, she has been interviewed and has spoken about kind of not being selected, and she's absolutely devastated, heartbroken that she didn't get picked. In 2019, she said that she really committed to the relay, and that's what her kind of focus was, that 4x400 meter relay and getting it to Tokyo. In the qualification, like, she was part of getting them there, and like was actually absolutely critical. Like, the women really performed, they outran, so it was 2 men, 2 women. The 2 women actually outran the other women, which made the team qualify. Bar was not the quickest in his on his leg. He was strong, but he was overtaken. I think he was last leg. He was overtaken, and I can't remember the name of the other guy that was on it, but he also would have been beaten. So the girls actually beat other people to put Ireland in contention for that qualification spot. And interestingly, Sharlene was actually quicker than Phil in that relay. So I think she definitely put in a lot of work to get the team there. Then obviously when it came to nationals, she pulled up in the kind of last 80 meters maybe of the 400, and I think people were kind of going, oh, is she injured and what was that? But look, obviously we don't know the full ins and outs of it, or if there was a conversation with Athletics Ireland. It sounds like there perhaps wasn't a conversation, like that they maybe didn't really inquire as to the severity of the injury. Like, she said she pulled up because she felt if she continued to run that she might have pulled something, as opposed and wanted to like protect the Olympic dream and do what was best for the team and herself in terms of looking at Tokyo. And then she has kind of said in hindsight, well, maybe I should have kept running because I didn't get to go to Tokyo either way. So I think in terms of like an injury, you need to talk to the athlete and their physio or whatever it is to actually establish what the seriousness of it is. I would have thought she would have been on it should she have been declared fit. Not taking away from obviously the other athletes that are there, because they are exceptional, they're running very well. But yeah, look, you can see why she's disappointed. You can see why other people are kind of querying why the others aren't there. But look, you have to understand the full picture, and I'm sure everybody that's in the relay will do an exceptional job, and it's actually something we're really looking forward to, because I think it's the way that people, not every nation necessarily runs male to female the same order, so anything can change in a hot second. And look, the Irish team are very strong. So yeah, really looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean that's all I have on my side. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I do completely agree with you. I think when I was kind of reflecting on it, because I knew we'd be talking about it, I think, like you said, I was feeling a bit more sorry for Sharlene Mawdsley. I think her situation it just felt kind of weird, more than anything. Whereas, as you said, with Rhasidat, and I think even Rhasidat said in a post interview, I think I read it with Cathal Dennehy, he's a freelance athletics journalist. I think he wrote something saying that she admitted herself that she was actually feeling quite tired with all the racing she was doing, obviously with college in Texas, it had gone up a level with the scholarship, and then obviously flying back to Ireland, quarantining, and then having to do everything there. So I suppose, even though there's a couple more,
she had an exceptional day, like an exceptional few days racing at under 20s as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was going to say, is only 19 years old.
It kind of amplified, didn't like the selection. You were a bit like, oh damn, like she's crushing everyone here at the under 20s. Like, no disrespect to the others. So,
but the other thing, under 20s is one level, and senior is another.
Yeah, like, we're basically assuming that she would have crushed everyone in senior when she crushed them at under 20, and that's not the case for anyone, like, let alone what sport you're in. I think we've seen that across the board with GA, soccer, athletics, whatever it may be. So I think Sharlene Mawdsley is someone I definitely feel sorry for. I think the only thing that I would have with Rhasidat is that it was definitely an opportunity, if possible, where she could get experience rather like, that would be the only thing that I would be like querying, like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, she certainly is a prospect.
Yeah. So I was kind of like thinking in my head, okay, like maybe get the experience into her without really expectations. Whereas I think next time if she goes to the Olympics in Paris, will there be a lot of expectations on her? Because it'd be like the girl who never went to Tokyo, kind of stuff like that. Whereas, as I say with Sharlene, I do feel a little bit sorry for her, because, as you said, it didn't sound like it was communicated well, if at all. And it sounded like she felt incredibly let down and put her heart and soul into something that didn't come to fruition. And I think that
she's had a great result. Look, she had a really good run this week, and she seems like she's, the fire's been lit to go again. And it's not towards, I think, the athletes that have been selected. I think she's just disappointed that she wasn't. It's the decision doesn't lie in the hands of any of the athletes. It's other selectors.
That's what I think. That's what you want. Like that's why other countries are like successful as well. Like they have other athletes chomping at the bit. Trying to get in, and it's not a disrespectful thing to anyone who has gone. It's actually more just how good athletics is at the moment. And I think this goes back to
everyone's pushing forward.
A conversation that we've had, which is we're all obsessed with Olympic athletes. We're just not obsessed with like funding them or like making them. I think hopefully the tide will kind of turn. I was laughing at AP predicting 6 medals. Myself and my brother and other brother-in-law predicted 9 because we were that sad. We were like,
I'd have a few of these. That I think might end up on the podium. But
who are yours? Pressure on them if they're listening.
Yeah, well, look, I think the women's sport have a good shot. Then some of the men's teams, I think there's a few good medal opportunities there as well. So I'd be putting more than 6 as well.
I was surprised they put McIlroy for gold in golf. I know this isn't a men's podcast, but I would be tipping Leona more to do something in the women's rather than McIlroy. Yeah.
And Natalia Coyle has had 2 top 10 finishes in the Olympics, so she has the experience and she's aiming for a podium and nothing less. So
she knows what it takes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's her 3rd time out. She's gone up 3 places every time, so she's hoping that 3 up from 6 will get her on that podium. But all right, are you ready for the quick fire questions?
Okay, are you asking me first? Let's do it.
Okay, I'll go first. Are you ready?
Go.
Quick fire questions with Joanna Rudin. Here we go. Okay, Barry's or Lions?
Barry's.
GA or soccer?
GA.
Oh. New York or Tokyo?
New York.
Too hot or too cold?
Too cold.
So, would you rather Cork City win Women's National League or Barcelona win Champions League?
Cork City win National League. I've had success in Barcelona. It's fine.
I've had success.
I've been at the hill myself.
Okay, the best Irish athlete of all time?
Katie Taylor.
Your favourite ice cream?
Chocolate.
Favourite sports pundit?
Ooh. That's a good one. I know. So I would say Lisa Fallon in soccer. I would say let's split it, and then I would say Oisin McConville GA.
Okay.
Lisa Fallon number 1 for sure.
Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Interesting, because you do love Twitter.
I do love the tweets.
Who's your favourite sibling?
I have them all for different reasons, which is really funny. So for context, I have 4 older siblings, if anyone's not sure. Dennis, because he's my godfather. I'd be shot if I didn't say him.
Okay, and would you rather to be able to fly or to be able to make yourself invisible when you want?
Fly.
Interesting. Very good.
Fly.
I thought that was a good one. I was like, this is very like Harry Potter or something.
No, flying has always been like my thing. My actual one is mind control. I'd love to be able to control mind. I know it sounds very
intense. I'd love to be able to control minds. Yeah. That's not scary at all.
No, but I mean, you rock up at the airport, you want to go to like Rio, and you can just be like walking through security, no bother to you. That's my thought process.
You want to be able to like channel your thoughts to somebody else, or you're going to able to control their minds?
Oh, so I'm able to like tell them to just like I'm like rock up, say at the counter. I want to go.
I just have to say, just look in their eyes and they know.
I know, and then I like.
Okay.
Island, like do like well, you see, this stems from when I was younger. I used to watch a lot of X-Men, and obviously Professor X was in a power chair like myself, so that's where it actually stems from. I thought I could be Professor X. That's where it all stems from. Yeah.
Okay, as long as you're not like the. Like a puppet master.
No, I'm not like Magneto. No, I used to like Magneto. No, I think I'm too nice. Is the other thing.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm a bit afraid now, though.
Niamh Talon, my random rapid fire is a rapid fire I once did with Sonia O'Sullivan.
Okay.
So we used to listen to a similar podcast, and it had a rapid fire at the end of it that was a little bit deep. But we really enjoyed the rapid fire, and I think she still uses it to this day, funnily enough, Sonia, which is getting okay, so something people get wrong about you.
Geez, these are gonna be really hard.
I'm a criminologist. You know, I get
people think I'm taller than I am. It's really random, but people think I'm taller than I am.
I'm not gonna lie. I did think you would be taller when I met you.
No, but even people like I'm 5'6", but people will be like, "Are you not 5'8"? And I'm like, "No." Like I look like I should be taller.
You do look like you should be taller. I don't know what it is. That's very true. Okay, last show you binged and loved.
I keep watching Grace and Frankie. I've watched it like 3 times since COVID.
Favorite movie that you wouldn't pass if it was on?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite movie, but like I've watched Burlesque about 1 million times, and I don't usually watch movies that many times.
That's okay. A concert you'll never forget?
I told you we went to see Michael Bublé before, and I got called off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went over to Paris to watch Michael Bublé, and then it got cancelled because the drummer had something wrong with his heart or something. He was okay like 2 weeks later.
Favorite meal?
Favorite meal. I used to love like steak and potatoes, like that kind of vibe. But I do love a good lasagna as well.
What is on your bedside table?
Books.
What books?
That I have not read, or I've read some of them. One of the ones that is on is like the third one of, you know, What a Complete Aisling, or what's the name of that series?
What a Complete Aisling, yep.
Yeah, it's the third one of that. I haven't read it yet. I've read the first 2. Some washers, which are parts of the boat. I acquire these random things. I have like a bungee and stuff as well. I don't even know. That's like the truth that actually is on my locker. Yeah, probably like earrings or something random as well.
My bedside locker looks like a fucking WADA lab. Like I have my inhalers, I have my antihistamine, like, you know, and
nice.
I like look at it, I'm like, this will get me caught in like the Tour de France, like no. Okay, what's a snapshot of an ordinary moment in your life that brings you joy?
I mean, this is pretty ordinary and brings me joy. You know, we do this our weekly catch-ups.
I don't believe you call them ordinary. These are extraordinary for me.
Well, like it's regular. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. In one word, vulnerability is.
Like my vulnerabilities.
Just vulnerability is. So my answer is that was scary.
Oh, vulnerability is. Oh, okay. I think I got what you mean. So vulnerability is. It could be strength.
Yes.
Could be the opposite.
That's a good answer. Okay. Your call to brave comes, or you're about to do something you've never done before, but you're feeling really anxious. What is the first thing you do?
What?
Your call to be brave comes, or you're about to do something you've never done before, but you're feeling really anxious. What's the first thing you do? Definitely call Joanne and do a podcast.
probably take a deep breath.
Good answer. Okay, and tell me one thing you're grateful for right now.
I don't know. Grateful to be like doing HerSport all the time. It's pretty cool, and really looking forward to the Olympics and Paralympics and everything. Yeah, I just think what I do and what you do is a deadly job to have. So yeah, we're pretty lucky with doing what we do.
Testify to that. Thanks to Brene Brown's podcast for the loan of a question.
They weren't easy. Mine were way easier.
Oh my god, favorite pundit really threw me over the line. I was like,
yeah, but you got like Barry's or Lions. Like another one could have been like tea or coffee. Like the hardest one there was favorite sibling, I think.
Barry's no, the favorite pundit was much worse. Barry's or Lions, Niamh?
I'm Barry's as well. Yeah.
Good girl. You'll be allowed in my house. That's for sure.
Yeah. Soon. Look, I think that's all. People have learned a little bit more about us, and if you have any good quickfire questions for us that you want to know, we can always do some more next week. I guess we'll bring in lots of Olympic news for people over the next 2 weeks as well, so definitely stay tuned. We have loads of athlete bios up at the moment. We have loads of exclusive interviews. We also have loads of quickfire questions with the athletes, so go and have a look at those. We have Michaela Walsh up. We have Ellen Walsh up. And there are loads more to come. So definitely tune in. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from you soon.
Yeah, and check out our social platforms. As Niamh said, they will have a lot of the content from HerSport to do with Olympics, to do with athlete bios, to figure out who's who, what's what, and when's what going on. So don't forget to follow them at HerSport. .ie on Instagram and Twitter, and at Joanne_OX on Twitter, and at Joanne OR. And Niamh, it's been fun.
It has. I look forward to some more quickfire questions in the future. To anybody that's worried that we won't be covering things outside the Olympics, we will, by the way. It's just going to be, busy 2 weeks, but there'll be lots more stuff going on as well. But yeah, other than that, talk to you soon.
Yeah, cheerio.
Bye.
Bye.